Earlier today, Canon released this teaser, but before we had a chance to script and edit our video, they'd already pulled it. I tweeted Canon USA asking them why they pulled the teaser, and within 10 minutes, it was back. And the time? Well, it hadn't changed. Canon scheduled the live announcement at 1 a.m. in the morning, 0100 hours. That's 10 p.m. Pacific time, 6 a.m. London time, and 7 a.m. European Standard Time. And a single, lone title, Elevate Your Image. The announcement premieres in 8 days, 8 long days of anticipation. And that's today's big news story. But it's not the only big news story. Another source has come forward today saying that the Canon EOS R6 Mark III does indeed do 120 frames per second in 4K. The source also said that it can do 4K fine up to 60 frames per second. Now that's oversampled 4K. This is a new source, and while I have yet been able to verify the information, the Canon EOS R6 Mark II, well, it can already do 6K oversampled 4K up to 60 frames per second, so 4K fine up to 60 frames per second. But you see, the Mark III has a higher resolution, 40% more pixels, giving us 7K oversampled 4K. Delivering 4K fine up to 60 frames per second does certainly take more processing power and more effort. Is it likely that the R6 Mark III, like the R6 Mark II, can deliver 4K fine up to 60 frames per second? Will Canon give it the Digic accelerator chip to help offload some of the autofocusing processing? Honestly, I think it's kind of 50-50 at this point. I mean, we have the capability in the Mark II. I would expect the capability to be here in the Mark III. Now, 4K up to 120 frames per second used to be a premier top-shelf capability that was reserved for cameras costing north of $4,000, sometimes well north of that. 4K 120 can now be done for, well, much less. The Nikon Z6 Mark III, with its partially stacked sensor, delivers 4K up to 120 frames per second for just over $2,000. The Z6 Mark III, that's the Canon R6's closest competitor and the camera for Canon to beat. Now the GH6 can also do 4K at 120 frames per second, as can the Sony FX30. 4K up to 120 frames per second is no longer a premium capability, at least in this segment. It's a required capability. But these are just 2 more capabilities and a long line of capabilities that have leaked out and created an awful lot of excitement. The Canon EOS R6 Mark III isn't just a refresh of the Mark II. It's a bold reimagination of the 6 series, with major changes in photo capabilities as well as video features. But please click subscribe. It's one of those things that helps feed the YouTube formula and get this channel exposed. Alright, so back to the specifications. 4K 120 frames per second, 4K fine, up to 60 frames per second on a 34.2 megapixel sensor, capable of 40 frames per second continuous shooting, CF Express Type B card slot along with an SD card slot, pre-capture, 6.5 stops of an IBIS, and ISO of 64,000. These few photo capabilities already raise the profile of this camera if you've got the Mark I or the Mark II, and you found 24 megapixels to just not be enough. Well, you can jump up to 32 megapixels. That's the photo side, 32 megapixels of 34.2. And what you get is a much faster storage. CF Express Type B V4 cards, they deliver sustained write speeds of up to 3.5 gigabytes per second, 3.7 gigabytes per second read. That allows you to get the content off the card a whole lot quicker and even edit content right on the card. Transcode, video, photos, it doesn't matter. Very, very fast. So if you're one of those people that wanted the higher resolution plus the CF Express Type B, then I'd say this is an easy decision to upgrade to the Mark III. Now when it comes to the autofocus system in the Mark II was pretty good. But then last year in 2024, Canon released dual pixel autofocus Mark II. With much improved subject tracking, and part of the logic behind the Digic accelerator chip was to project where the subject was moving, and if the subject was temporarily obscured, that the camera wouldn't hunt and pulse, it would just wait for the subject to reappear. Now we don't know at this point if the R6 Mark III has the Digic accelerator chip, but I'd be surprised if it doesn't. I mean, the Sony what was it, the A7R5 was the first camera, the first Sony camera to come out with an AI processing chip. Then every other camera since then, regardless of price, has gotten the chip. All right, so now let's turn our attention to some of the video capabilities. The Canon EOS R6 Mark III has Canon Log 2, Canon Log 3, Open Gate, Long Op, All Intra, H.264, H.265, 4K Fine, 7K RAW, full-size HDMI, and 24-bit audio. Those are a lot of capabilities. The Cripple Hammer has, I guess, rusted and fallen away, and no one can find it. Because based on what we're hearing, and based on these leaked specifications, we can see that the R6 Mark III is very powerful when it comes to video. Codecs, Canon Log 2, Canon Log 3, All Intra, 4K Fine, Open Gate. Yeah, it's becoming a wow camera for video like the R5 Mark II was to the Mark I. Very powerful. Now, it also gets the LPE6P battery, and the price is €28.99. Now, the US price, we've been told it's $28.99 from other sites, but I'm willing to believe, I still think the price can go to around $26.99. My original price range was $21.99 to $26.99. We now have the tariffs. They haven't changed, but that has put some pricing pressure here. So I'd be surprised if it hits $28.99. I'm thinking right now the most likely price point is around $26.99. And shipping, well, it begins on November the 20th, 2025. And if you've got some information to share with us, share with our viewers, then please email me at simondyates@gmail.com. As we come close to Black Friday, we're going to start to see the best prices of the year for Canon, Nikon, Sony, and Panasonic, with some sales already offering up to $300 off lenses like the 24-70. And we're also seeing on the Sony side $700 off the A7 IV, although that's after they already raised the price by $200 or $300. Essentially, it's around $2,000 for the A7 IV, as the A7 V is expected to be coming out soon. And please consider using my affiliate links, my smart pre-order links, for pre-ordering the Canon EOS R6 Mark III once it's announced on November the 6th at 1 a.m. in the morning Eastern Time. Consider using my links in the United States to B&H in Adorama, Wex Photo and Video in the United Kingdom, and Photocall in Europe. Thank you so much for supporting this channel, for using my links. This channel is very much viewer supported. I don't rely on, nor do I seek out sponsorship ads, because I can't seem to find one that is a sponsor of something that you guys are interested in. Unless I can put something in there that's of interest, I don't think we need another channel that does Squarespace or VPN ads or something else that has nothing to do with what you're looking at. So for those of you that have used my links in the past, thank you very much. You are literally helping to keep the lights on, and it's very much appreciated. Hopefully this is the last video of today. This is my third one. It's amazing how time flies, and forgive me for the editing quality because I have to shoot in the confines of being a work day. I can only shoot before work. I can shoot on my breaks and on my lunch breaks, so that's why the quality of this isn't necessarily the best, and I'm rambling a little bit more. But there are still specifications to come out. I'd like to see a full set of frame rates for all the different modes. I'd like to see all the different photo modes. I'd like to find out more information about what really makes this camera tick. Does it have a digic accelerator chip? All those wonderful things. But I also want to say a big thank you, not only to my viewers, but to all the sponsors, to all my sources who are essentially sponsoring this channel when you think about it, for all the sources who have provided me with leaked or alleged leaked information about the upcoming Canon EOS R6 Mark III. This isn't the only event. We also have Sony with the A7 V coming up. We've got a bunch of lenses to be announced by Canon. But right now, everything seems to be about the R6 Mark III. I already had videos for Nikon and Sony lined up for today. They've been pushed to, I think, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you again soon. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers. Bye-bye now.